Hello and welcome to the match report, an England special. Let's go there because boy, there's a lot to talk about with this team. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of surprise additions, a lot of surprise not exits but axes from certain players that we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, Coach, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I was a bit baffled by some of the England choices, as you're obviously alluding to as well. But excited. Well, am I excited? I'm starting to try and get excited for the World Cup. It's a different type of feel. It's not summer holidays saying sun outside and people getting waved 59 minutes before the game for some reason. I don't know why I said 59 minutes, but hey, there you go. So yeah, but I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, let's get straight into it. The England team was selected today at the 26-man squad that is going to the finals.
I've got that for you right here.
That is, boom, right there, right in the middle. You can see it, boom, clear as day. Goalkeepers: Pickford, Pope, Ramsdale. Trent is going. Connor Cody is going. Eric Dyer is going. Harry Maguire is going. Luke Shaw, John Stones, Trippier, Kyle Walker's going. Apparently, Ben White's going. Good for him. Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, James Maddison, Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling, and Callum Wilson. Boy, now that is a very good squad. To be up front, that is a very good squad. You have to be honest. Is it a squad that's potentially going to win the World Cup? I don't know, Coach. What's your thoughts on that one? Let's bring it down as well. Let's bring it down.
Yeah, I'll bring it down. I'll try and put it on the side so it's a lot more clear for us. I don't know how to feel, and the first thought that comes to mind is, look, when I saw the goalkeepers, that made sense. I mean, the best three goalkeepers in the land,
excluding Jordan Pickford, but yeah, cool.
Well, okay, so the best two goalkeepers in the land and Jordan Pickford,
yeah.
But no, I think those were the three that are always going to make it. Sam Johnston was not going to go. Dean Henderson was not going to go. So yeah, I'm at peace with those ones. I see no issue with the goalkeepers. It was when you start talking about the defense that's when I started having issues. Connor Cody,
bruv,
where do we even begin with this one? Like, it's becoming comical. It's becoming comical, and the reason why I say it's becoming comical is because he doesn't deserve to be in the team. I'm sorry, he just doesn't. He just doesn't deserve to be in the team. There you go. That's the thing for you there. If you could just focus on the England team, there you go. So I was thinking about the centre backs that haven't gone. Tomori's not going. He's a Serie A winner. He's done well for AC Milan again this season. If Southgate's idea to not take him is based off 2 Champions League games against Chelsea, I have no words for him.
That's gotta be because I imagine that's the only time he's probably seen him this entire season. Well, because he doesn't seem like a guy that would fly out to AC Milan to watch a match. So his only time he gets to watch him would be when he's actually playing in England. And the first game he played pretty well, didn't he? And then the second game, that's when they messed up and they got absolutely handled by Chelsea. But if you're basing off 2 games, when Connor Cody has Connor Cody played this season?
He has. He joined Everton. I can't remember if it was a permanent or a loan, but he's joined Everton. And I guess the idea is, he goes to play some football, a lot more football than he would be playing right now. I think someone like Willy Bowley had that same issue, but Cody got the move. But it's alarming to me because Everton haven't been good again, and he hasn't been good. It's not been a case of he's been okay in a poor team. He hasn't had anything to stand out at all. And there are at least 6 defenders, in my opinion, English, that claim or have more of a claim to him to be in the squad, especially considering this is now a mid-season World Cup. So form is so key, more than ever.
But, 100%.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't get it. I
mean, that's the thing that. I mean, the Gareth Southgate, he came out and he said, I think it was in regards to it wasn't Ivan Toney. It was what striker was it? Was it a striker? He was a striker. I can't remember the name. It's something about form. Because he came out and said that this player wasn't in particularly great form, and that's why. No, sorry, Tammy Abraham. That's what it was about.
Yeah.
Tammy Abraham. He said Tammy Abraham wasn't in the greatest form coming into this World Cup.
Mhm.
But and so that's the reason why he didn't get a nod over Callum Wilson, which is fair. Because Callum Wilson's been, I'd say, not in the form of his life because he's pretty great at Bournemouth as well. But he's probably been the fittest and the most informed in his life coinciding right now. So he deserves to go, and he's one of the best in England right now. But Ivan Toney, who's I think higher in the goal scoring chance, didn't get a England nod. But if you're gonna say that, use that argument for players not going, but not for the players that you are taking, like Connor Cody, who's not been in great form. Trent Alexander-Arnold's been in the worst form of his life. Eric Dyer, horrible form. Harry Maguire, horrible form. Kyle Walker has been injured, hasn't he?
He's been injured and he's had surgery, and you're rushing him back. Because you don't have right backs. But Trent Alexander's there. Ben White can play makeshift right back as well. So you don't need to take him. He's not in. As you can add another defender like Tomori. Jordan Henderson not been in great form. Conor Gallagher in and out of the team. Calvin Phillips rushing back from injury. Declan Rice hasn't been in great form either. West Ham are currently in a relegation battle. Strikers seem fine, but then take it back. But Raheem Sterling's not been in the best of form either. So you can't use one reason or argument to expel a player and another argument to admit a player, because you're going to end up looking absolutely stupid and foolish. And which he has been, because this team, honestly, there's so many options, so many better options as well, and it just doesn't make sense. Yeah,
but
he's gone against his own. He's gone against his own sort of idea of how he's picked the team, because form is a lie. I mean, we all know form is a lie.
It's a lie, yeah.
Harry
He's covering his tracks.
Harry Maguire's not playing regular football Man United, so he cannot find form. It's literally impossible to find form when he's not a regular starter at the club. Luke Shaw has only just got his place back from Malasia, and I wouldn't even call that form. Connor Cody, I've already said that. Eric Dyer, you've seen how the last podcast was called Dyer defending. That tells you what's going on there. Trent Alexander-Arnold, you said it. Like, even this season, it's not even about his going forward anymore, because like he's not doing that well. He's losing the ball constantly when he's trying to go forward. And defensively, you already know the story. Conor Gallagher, little impact at Chelsea, very little. If it was off the,
he scored a goal against Crystal Palace. That's what I'd say. He's done. Yeah. But that's it. But if
it was off his Crystal Palace form last year, it's a different conversation. But it's not. You know, Jordan Henderson, I'm not even going to go there. Calvin Phillips, not playing minutes at Man City. Injury and fit, he's not getting minutes.
Even if he wasn't injured, he wouldn't get minutes in that side.
There you go. You know, and you said about Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling in England has been a great story. The Euros, he was fantastic for them. He's got a good link up with Harry Kane. We can get that. But if you're saying you pick the team on form, Raheem Sterling doesn't make the team either.
No.
Doesn't make the team either. So you can't say it for Tammy Abraham, which you're right about. He's not been in good form, but you cannot say the rest have been picked on form. That's nonsense.
No, it's nonsense. And even in the attackers, he's only got two strikers. I mean, Marcus Rashford can play striker as well, but but we've seen at Manchester United he can't really play there. Harry Kane is there in that team. Obviously, he's obviously going to start all the games. There's no doubt about that. So picking Callum Wilson as backup makes sense. But if Harry Kane gets injured, which is likely to happen considering he gets injured around this time, usually for Spurs, and Callum Wilson, who is injury prone, is always going to get injured. You kind of what's it? You're limiting your attacking options. You're what's it? You're no, I don't know the phrase, but it's you're shortening your attacking options, and you're making sure that if something was to go wrong, that then it's going to be as horrible as it can be, because Ivan Toney's there. Like you don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players that can play in the wing. You don't need that.
Yeah,
you need maybe four at best, and take you take a striker, and you can move one of your strikers if something was to happen to the wing.
I didn't even clock the wing players. Like
they've got so many wings. Phil Foden can play wing. Jack Grealish can play wing. Maddison wing. Rashford wing. Saka wing. Sterling wing. You can put Mason Mount on the wing as well.
Bloody hell!
So you've got an overabundance of players going on the wings, but only 2 options at striker as well. And Callum Wilson is in good form, but he's not in the as good a form as Ivan Toney. And I understand he wants these are the players that have served him well over the few years. I get that there's merits to being loyal, but merit and goodwill don't win you tournaments. And this team has been gearing up to win a tournament since what? The World Cup in Russia?
Yeah.
So, actually, not the World Cup in Russia. Wait, was the last World Cup was in Russia, right? 2018.
Yeah, I believe it was Russia. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Russia.
Russia. Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense to me because this team, I don't know, and the attacking options in the midfield as well. Yeah, what? Bellingham?
Yeah, Bellingham. I guess Gallagher's part of that attacking.
But he shouldn't play.
No, he shouldn't.
I don't know. No, I don't think he should.
He should.
I honestly don't know for this team.
He won't get
this
minutes.
team is very. This team is very shocking.
It is. A lot of people are. The thing is, so you brought the point of his loyalty to players, and my issue with this is, and I know people will say, he has some merit to that. He got to the semi-final of the World Cup, as you obviously mentioned. The Euros, they got to the final. So these players have worked for him, but I can't get away from the fact that it's mid-season. That it's a very different situation. It's a very different scenario here. After a season finishes, you get about 2 to 3 weeks rest, and then you get up, you come together as a squad, and you can say, yeah, look, it's tournament football. You don't need to be looking for form over 38 games. You need 2 weeks of decent results. You can sneak 1-0 wins here and there, and go through to the next stage and hopefully get to the final and win it. That's understandable. I get that. My problem will always be the fact that if you are now doing a Winter World Cup there's not going to be any break, because after the World Cup final, 3 days later is Carabao Cup. So if any of the English players in the Carabao Cup, the quarterfinals are, their club advances, like for example, Man United. So if Man United were to beat Aston Villa,
no London clubs.
Well, yeah, there's no London clubs, so they're lucky. But if Man United are to beat Aston Villa, then Luke Shaw goes back, Harry Maguire goes back, Marcus Rashford goes back, and you're expecting them, if they were to get to the final, you're expecting them 3 days later to now report for duty at their club. And whether they play or not, that's not the point. The point is they have to rush back on the plane to London. Oh, London? Yeah, well, it was the flight to London. They go to Manchester by wherever route, and go back to training and do what you need to do. Unless Ten Hag's feeling nice and saying, yeah, rest a little bit. It's not logical, but this is why we talk about form. And I'm even looking at the selection now, and my biggest worry is he's going to pick an unbalanced team. Because Luke Shaw, don't get me wrong, if Chilwell was fit, Chilwell makes that squad all day. That's a no-brainer, right? So if Ben Chilwell's fit, he's in that squad. He's the starting left back. Luke Shaw is now the only left back in that squad, and I am about 90% certain he's still not going to start as the left back in the first game.
That's insane. I didn't even clock about Luke, the left back situation. That is mad. Everybody was focused on the right back situation, and he's only taken one left back. That's insane.
Again, he's done it again, and I'm thinking, like, don't get me wrong. Okay, firstly, you didn't even want to take Trent. Let's be very real. If Reece James was fit, I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold was making this team. And you know what? If you're talking about form again, I have no problem with that. But you haven't picked on form, so he had to be in that squad, regardless of whether Reece James is there or not. Cool. But pick a second left back. I get Chilwell, and it's like Chilwell's here, and then Luke Shaw's like here, and then the rest are like, well, it's up for debate how you feel about them. But I like, for example, Tyreek Mitchell. I'm not saying you must take Tyreek Mitchell and you must start him as a left back because he's better than Shaw. It's a risk to take a player of that age to a huge tournament where he has no experience of international football so far. I get that. But he's an option to take. There's nothing wrong with taking that wild card option just as a backup.
Theo Walker was 16 when he went to the World Cup, so let's not forget about it. This age doesn't mean anything, to be honest with you.
There you go. You're right, exactly. So that doesn't mean anything. And then you're talking about the centre backs. It's, for me, Ben White and John Stones play together because they're the most informed centre backs. Oh, I mean,
No.
playing right back.
Ben White's been playing right back, yeah.
But I would trust him at centre back as well, considering how good he's been so far this season.
So what do you think in terms of? Yeah, I know. What do you think in terms of formation? Because now that we've mentioned the left back situation, I'm thinking he's going 3 centre backs.
He is. Kyle Walker will be one of those 3 centre backs.
So I'm thinking wing backs, and I'm thinking Saka plays wing back.
Ooh, I wouldn't like that.
No, we wouldn't like it, but that's the option. That's the option, because well, obviously Luke Shaw has been decent. He's hit of, I wouldn't say a rich vein of form, but he's in some sort of form with Ten Hag at Manchester United. Mm-hmm. But if you're playing 3 centre backs and you're going to play 2 DMs in Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, I don't know. Bellingham as well maybe will be playing in that team, but I think his go-to will be Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, because I don't think he likes Bellingham either. I think he likes the idea of playing 2 DMs because he's a defensive-minded coach. So Saka will be an extra attacking option going forward.
But this is my problem, and I'm going to go into my obviously favorite topic of all time ever, defending. You have a chance where we can look at the defensive options of a lot of these countries and say not a lot of them are very strong, not a lot of them are very good, not a lot of them are informed, not a lot of them are convincing centre backs or fullbacks, if you want to go into now how the fullbacks are supposed to be playing in their teams right now. So you've got Phil Foden. Look, if I take the squad for what it is, you've got Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Maddison, Rashford, Saka, Sterling, Wilson. You've got technical ability, you've got speed in behind, you've got movement, you've got finishing, you've got abundance of riches here, and you're going to play 2 defensive midfielders and behind them basically 5 players. You're taking the mick. You cannot do that. You cannot put Kyle Walker, let's say Harry Maguire and John Stones in a back 3 with, I don't think you trust Trent, so it'll be Kieran Trippier.
It will be Trippier.
It could be Trent and Trippier because on either side, because I don't think he's gonna play Luke Shaw. Or maybe Ben White will play, who knows? And then you play Calvin Phillips and Rice, who are not the most creative, who are not the most commanding or dominating midfielders in the middle of the pitch. Calvin Phillips hasn't got minutes so far, so you can't expect a player who hasn't got much minutes this season to take a long flight to Qatar and expect him to hit the ground running. I'm baffled. I don't know what he's going to pick. I'm baffled.
I'm right there with you, because 3 at the back at this World Cup, man, that's so because it's. I'd say it's not one that they've been very hyped up for or been excited, because of the way it's been handled, to the negative press, and it's well deserved negative press that the Qatar World Cup's got. Also the fact that it's in the winter as well, and so everybody's like, ugh, especially in this country, so nobody's really up for it. But to go there to play a guy, Calvin Phillips, like you said, isn't the most commanding midfielder, isn't in form, isn't match fit, isn't ready, and expect him to get the ground running, it doesn't make any sense. And to play Declan Rice, who's been I wouldn't say awful, but he's not been great this season.
Nope,
he's not been great this season. He's limited his options there. And Jude Bellingham will get scrapped in that midfield, maybe.
I think so. Will
get scrapped in that midfield, maybe.
I think so. And I don't want to say that, because I generally do think he has the ability to become one of the best midfielders on the planet. I really believe that. But knowing how I feel anyway about Southgate's philosophy, I don't know if he's the manager to get the best out of him.
He's not. He's definitely.
It's crazy to say that, because I don't think he has to do much with Bellingham to get the best out of him, to be honest, if I'm being real. Like, yeah, every player needs a bit of direction, needs to know what he wants to do tactically, but he's so good. He's so above his age in terms of how he plays football. So why are we... I'm hoping he's going to start him. If he does with Declan Rice, maybe in a 4-3-3, I think that'd be beautiful, but I don't see it happening.
And even though the group, there's a few interesting teams in the group that England's in, but I don't say they find that big of a challenge. Well, obviously, Wales will be up for it, and the USA will be up for it as well. But I think Iran might be a bit of a walkover for every team in that group. To go into those games, especially after a poor Nations League season, a poor friendly season where I don't think they scored that many goals, or they struggled to score goals as well. To go defensive minded once again in that group, when you could just allow these players to express themselves on a global scale, even though the footballs are global and the leagues that they're playing are global markets and in them of themselves. But still, man, this is a chance for these players to represent, to show the world their skills, and just to play like that with such a embarrassment of riches in the midfield, in the attack, even in defense.
Yeah,
it's a shame. It seems like a shame. I don't know. When we get to the World Cup, he may play 4-3-3. Maybe he may play the most beautiful football England's ever seen. I doubt it. I doubt it. But you never know. Well, that's such a poor team, and it didn't have to be.
No, it didn't.
It's such an unexcitable team, and it didn't have to be.
No, it didn't. And when you're talking about the players that have missed out, I mean, also I was saying I don't think Cody should be in. I think better options were, and I'm not saying they are like incredibly well. Some of them are. Some of them you up for debate if you think they're better footballers. But if you're talking about form as well, Dan Burn is a better shout than him,
and he can play left back.
And he can thank you. I even missed that part. And he can play left back. So you got Dan Burn, you got Tomori, you got Mark Gahey, who's been better for than him this season, in my opinion. Bro, Lewis Dunk and Adam Webster, Brighton have been in better shape and performances, those two, than him. And that's already 5. I don't think, and I don't like the guy, but I don't think he's been better than Tyrone Mings this season. I don't think he's been better than Concert this season. That's 7. I didn't actually genuinely believe at the beginning of the day, before the announcement, that Conor Cody was even an option. I didn't see it, because I know that he's picked him in the past, and he's just been that sort of second player who's just been there. You don't know if he's gonna play on it really and truly, but I just didn't think it was gonna be an option. Eric Dyer, I know why he's there, but he shouldn't be there. He shouldn't. And I think the most honest Tottenham fan will tell you that.
I think the most unhonest Tottenham fan will tell you that as well.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. So, and look, I've ripped into Harry Maguire many a times on this podcast, so people know how I feel about him. But it's just time to be brutally honest. And this is not his fault. It's Southgate's fault. If he goes, in fact, no, I'll bring up the Germany game, then I'll go to World Cup. That Germany game they played, where they drew 2-2, Harry Maguire was at fault for both goals. And that's because he has lacked match sharpness. Don't get me wrong, he makes mistakes when he's 100% fit, when he's 100% ready to go. But you're putting him in more of a risk, knowing that he is not getting enough game time to even be 100% ready for a game like this. And regardless of whether it's a friendly, a nations game, a World Cup game, it's not a fixture to play with. So you've got to come correct with that game. You didn't do that. And now you're going to take him to the World Cup knowing he's not getting enough minutes at Man United, and expects, well, I don't know what he's expecting, to be brutally honest. And Luke Shaw, again, I don't mind him going, because I knew he was one of the 2 main left back options. I've got no problem with that. But again, this is why I was talking about Tyron Mitchell, because I feel like you need a left back that's been playing consistently. If you go to training and you see Shaw is just not ready, just the physical side of it, to play a 90-minute game, that's your left back option, not another makeshift. We don't need to do makeshift here. We need to be getting your best 11s and then your second best 11 on the pitch at all times. This is a World Cup. This is not, you can compare to other teams now and see how they're doing it. Germany brought back Mario Götze. That's a name I didn't think I was going to hear in 2022 in the Germany squad. But why? Because he's in form. He's found form again, and he makes sense for what they want to do on the football pitch. I don't think any of these selections so far that we've spoken about anyway, the highlighted ones, make sense for whatever Southgate's trying to do.
Is there any belief to be found in like, chemistry wins, World Cup cohesion wins, tournaments? Because these players have been playing together for a while now, since the 2018 World Cup in Russia, and they have been successful for him. So they know how to play, and they're gonna need to learn, or they're gonna need to know how to play with each other quickly, because the World Cup is coming around very quickly. It's coming around soon. It's next week, in fact, and they need to come back quickly and need to know each other's game plan and how each other play and how to click straight away. Is there any merit to that argument, or do you think good players, when it comes to their country and international, they find a way to click and they find a way to win games?
There's a bit of both. There's a bit of truth to both. There will be familiarity. There will be a familiarity with the players that are picked. Same or some will link up. They know each other. They know how they play for England. They know what Southgate wants and what he's looking for. That's why he's picked some of these players, and it makes sense. At the same time, I do also agree with the idea that good players can play together. A lot of people like to bring up like the previous cases of maybe like your Galacticos of 2000s that didn't really win much, for example, or and I sometimes use that as an example of they try to overload it with just big names without a plan. The thing is, when you are a national team manager, the one thing you must always have is a plan, because not every player from your country is a superstar. You look at this squad right now, and some of the players that we're talking about, they're not superstars. You got in this squad, in terms of superstars, I'd say, in terms of how big their name is now, I say Trent, because he's been given that sort of superstardom in football because of what Liverpool have done in about the last 4 years. Harry Kane, obviously, because of his goals, one of the best strikers on the planet. Sterling, yep, Sterling for Man City, as well as Foden. They have the Man City thing as well. Marcus Rashford, Man United, all that stuff, was a young guy coming through. I wouldn't call him a superstar, in my opinion, but maybe he's like on the periphery if he finally levels up, kind of thing. But other than that, I don't see anyone else that I can look at and say these are superstars. And no, other countries don't have that as well, and that's fine. But you got to pick your best options and your best players. I don't think he's chosen his best players here. I think he's settled for the players he can work with easily, rather than the players that will work best or give England the best option or chance to win, in my opinion. He's trying to be very stubborn with his picks. And I think a pick like Callum Wilson and James Maddison is only based on
media pressure.
Media pressure. These guys have to go. They're informed. They're doing this. They're doing that. Fine. Okay, I'll take them.
There's that as well. It's like you're taking these players that you've openly said you don't want to take. So how is that going to make them feel coming into this team and going into the tournament where they're going to be in close proximity with each other? They're going to eat at the same hotel, stay at the same hotel, eat, sleep, and work in the same proximity with a manager that doesn't have faith in you.
Well, I mean, if you're Trent Alexander-Arnold
as well, I forgot Trent.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be thinking about right now is, am I really going to get minutes? Because you already said that Trippier's better than me this season, or he's got like more attributes than me or something like that. So clearly he's already number one. So what is my role here? What am I doing here? And if Reece James didn't get injured, that would be my second thought. My second thought would be if Reece James wasn't here, or if he was here, would I be here?
Yeah.
And you've got Kyle Walker, so if you go 4 at the back, am I even still your right back option?
Kyle Walker, man. Every time I see, there's so many names there, I just don't get. And I don't get Kyle Walker. I understand because he's not played. He's been injured.
Oh no, I get that. But like, did you not think he would make the squad no matter what?
He's been one of his generals, one of his go-to players. But if someone's been injured, bro, don't take him. Calvin Phillips as well. Like, that's crazy. That's insane to me.
Well,
actually insane to me.
it's that England bias, isn't it? It's never gone away. We can go back to the days where, like, let's say that Man United had I remember there was a time where Man United we lost I think we lost to Liverpool, then we lost to Fulham back to back, and the next game we won, but we weren't good. And there were at that time we had a lot of English players in the squad, and I forgot who the manager was at the time, but he picked our players. And I remember just sitting there thinking, you're picking them because they play for Man United. You're not picking them because they've been good. I mean, I know, for example, Wayne Rooney's always going to make the squad. Okay, fine. Rio Ferdinand would always make the squad. Okay, fine. I get that. Carrick made squads but didn't play. So
yeah. And why are you taking Kieran Richardson though, right?
That's the name I don't fuck with here. So yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, you don't play Carrick, so why is Carrick going? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's this kind of stuff that I'm just here like, come on, you're doing the same thing here. Like, Calvin Phillips and Kyle Walker, as you said, they haven't played games, so why are they there? And we know they're going to get minutes. He said today in the press conference that Kyle Walker will be back before the end of the group stage. So you're banking on him recovering a lot earlier and then thrusting him into World Cup action by game 3 of the tournament, hoping that you're qualified or your near qualification is in your hands, kind of thing. And you're doing that when
you didn't need to.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna sum up to one thing. I don't think he has the tactical nous to play a different style of football or a different approach of tactics or anything like that. I don't think he has it. I think he wants to stick to 3-5-2, or even if he goes 4-3-3, it's still the same approach. It's still defensive. It'll be Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice will definitely start together, and nothing will change from there. I don't trust him. He wants to play counter-attacking football, and what he's going to do, he's going to put Saka, Kane, and Foden. Sterling will play, but I think Foden will also play. And Saka's fast. The other two, they're not. So the counter-attack you want to execute, if you're being real, you're going to have to start a front 3 of Bukayo Saka, Marcus Rashford, and Raheem Sterling. If you're looking for the counter-attack, because Kane is not a counter-attacking player. He's got the ability to spray passes, don't get me wrong, and he does it at Tottenham very well, but he's got Son and Kulusevski on the other side. When he didn't have Kulusevski, it was Son and no one else, and Tottenham struggled to hold together attacks. If you're looking for creativity in the middle of the pitch, Jude Bellingham, I think, is the most creative midfielder there. Mason Mount is a good midfielder, but I think he's trying to be more of like a goal-scoring midfielder than a creative sort of talent. And in the defense, I mean, it's easily Trent Alexander-Arnold that's your most creative player.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Easily. And to be fair, in a 3-5-2, he could probably flourish because he doesn't have to actually worry about being a
defensive. Yeah, he should. Yeah, perfectly. He should work for him, but he won't play him. He'll play Trippier.
That's the point. So why is he there? Why is he there? Waste of time. Honestly, I know you got to pick a squad. We're not trying to be stupid and say, oh, well, yeah, you might as well just pick 15 players and just run those guys. No, we're not saying that. But if players know they have no chance of getting minutes, they shouldn't be involved. It's a waste of time. I think someone like Trent should be spending the next 2 weeks resting, getting his head back together in the game, because the criticism and all that. 2 weeks where the spotlight is not on him and his club will be beautiful. I mean,
he's going to get 2 weeks worth of rest. Might get a few more weeks if England stay in the tournament, because he won't be playing. So he'll be fine. He'll get the rest. So he'll have a nice sunny holiday. That's what Trent needs.
Well, Qatar's. Well, I haven't been to Qatar before. I think it's a nice place. I think it's a lovely place. So
I think where they're going is going to be a nice place. This point, God knows how many he's building it. Yeah. I know it's been a bit of a downer, this one.
It has.
Honestly,
it sucks. It sucks.
It's so limited. It's such a limited squad, and he wants to play his style. He wants to play the way he plays. Fair, all power to him. But this is a World Cup where attacks will beat defenses, I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
Because nobody wants to sit back in the sun. Nobody wants to sit back in that heat as well. They want to enjoy their football, and limiting Harry Kane to a 10 role whilst you want Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling, or Marcus Rashford to do the running in behind. It's limiting. It's very limiting. Is what it is, though.
What do you think are England's chances with this team now? What are you saying?
Semis with a decent, with a good draw.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Semis with a decent draw, but if they get a tough team, they're going out as quickly as possible. They'll go through a group easy. They're going to be tough games. They're going to be very tough games because obviously Wales will be up for it. USA have a decent squad, but man, it doesn't look promising. It does not look promising at all.
They could be in big trouble. They could be in very big trouble. Oh, you know what? I didn't even see the comments. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So people are feeling. Well, it's definitely this guy. I remember this guy. He's the Love Arsenal, Hate Kroenke guy. Attacking fullback as well. He's calling a Monopoly game, which I guess makes sense. He's talking about maybe it's the money side of it. You know, when you bring certain players from certain teams into it. And yeah, classic gate picking faves, no intervention. Well, to quote Troy Deeney, no comments. I don't disagree with that. I find it very cowardly to go for the same guys over and over again. And you made a good point about the Nations League, which I didn't actually think about. They tanked. They tanked.
These players tanked.
Yeah.
These players tanked. Yeah. Let's not forget about that.
So they're not as reliable as they were maybe like a year prior to the Nations League for you. So maybe you're just losing your way now. Maybe it's time. But I think this is his last tournament anyway.
I think it is too.
Yeah, you'll see something different from England. Hopefully. If they pick correctly, whoever that is anyway. God.
I mean, we'll be getting so that's pretty much that for this episode. We will be doing a preview next week as well for the actual tournament. So that'll be a good one. We love those because honestly, my dark horse is done now. Croatia was my dark horse for like the previous 3 tournaments. And was it? I can't do anything anymore. I'd have to pick a new dark horse. But yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be very fun. Any final thoughts, Kojo?
Yes, good luck, England, I guess, isn't it? No, it will be nice. You know, we live in the country. We're born and raised here. It'll be nice for the country to celebrate a World Cup winning team after so long. Because every year I keep saying, not every 4 years I keep saying they got to update the It's Coming Home song because it's not 30 years of hurt. It's way past that now. Yeah, we're way past that. So if we can, you know, get some W in this nation, that would be beautiful. But hey, you know, it ain't happening, man. So that's me. What are you saying?
It ain't happening, bro. It ain't happening. It's gonna be another 40 years. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Kojo, finally, where can they find us?
Yep, on here, YouTube, Match Report. On the socials, 3inMidfield. The audio is 3inMidfield. The audio will be out. What's today's Thursday, Friday night, Saturday morning for sure. It'll be out. But yeah, that's us, 3inMidfield, and the Match Report on YouTube.
It's another episode of the Match Report. Good night.